Welcome to You Can Do It. Today's a bit of an unusual video. We're working on a Fordson Major tractor. Good old beast this is. It's been going for years. Now we've got a blooming oil leak and it's on the PTO selector. Standard place for these things to go. See, we've got a leak. Here's the PTO selector here. What happens is the oil comes out down there, look, and what you'll find is you've got a drip. Look, we've got a drip here. And it's all over the floor there. I left it away from the tray so you could see. And actually, it's coming from here. So you put there, you've got the oil that's coming from there, down here, running down there, and then dripping there. So what we're going to do today is we're going to change that seal in there. So, first things first, we're going to have to disconnect this from here, which is a little pin in a bolt there. So let me just take that, pin out there. And then what we've got to do is disconnect these 4 bolts here, and we can pull that off. But before we can take that off, we need to drain the oil on the other side. So what we need to do is have an oil catcher. Okay, so let me just undo that pin first for this here, and then I can go around to the other side. All right, so I've got those out. Look, it's just a split pin, and then that's out of there, and then that comes down there. So that's now not connected. Okay, so now what we've got to go is go around the other side and drain the oil, and then we can undo those 4 bolts. So let's go around the other side and drain the oil. Okay, we're on the other side of the tractor now, and you've got there, that's the drain plug, so we'll have to undo that. So it's about 20 litres in there, so you need a 20 litre container underneath that for it to go in. Now that's been leaking oil for a long time, so I don't reckon there's 20 litres in this tank. So let's have a look. So that's what we'll do. So first of all, I'll undo that and start draining it.
Can I just hold the phone?
Do video. You've got a video here. So you've got Daddy's here. So here we are. Just need to undo this now, and we should get oil come chucking out of here. And let's see how much we get. Yeah. Oh, look at that. It's got a bit of head of oil there. Keep it up. Keep it up. Keep it up to there. That's right. Hold on. Look at that. Cool. Oh, there's not 20 litres in there, is there? No, just shine it on there, Hyde. There's shine it to where it's coming out of the hole. Okay, it's virtually coming to an end now. I'll leave that to drain, but there's certainly not 20 litres in there. So I need to top this up with oil when I finish. All right, before we go any further, we ordered a spare gasket, and that's the seal there for the selector shaft. So what you see, we used Agriline products, which are really good. So all of that, and that came within the next day. So really recommend that. Okay, we're back on the other side of it. Basically all the oil's dripped out now, so I'll put the cap back in, and then we can now start undoing these 4 bolts here, which are 15mm. So let's undo those 4 bolts. Okay, they're all done. It's still on there, so we just need to gently tap that against the no, it's gone. Oh yeah, it comes off down there. Look, and your selector will come out. Your selector goes in between there and that little shaft, you can see that, and that moves it in and out. So now we've got that off, let's get it on the bench and let's look a little bit further. Okay, there you are. Look, this is off. That's the gasket which we'll replace, and then this is wired. So we've got to get this shaft out here, and it's got lump there, 'cause it's got a ball bearing in there and a spring, and I think you can access that through there. So we'll undo this, which will allow us to pull that pin out. But when we pull that pin out, be careful, because look, I think there's going to be a spring and a ball bearing potentially fly out of that. Okay, so I've got the shaft out. Got the shaft out there. There's your spring and the ball bearing. So the spring goes in first, then the ball bearing, and the ball bearing sits in those 2 slots. When you're moving it from engaged to not engaged, stops it moving around. Okay, so make sure you don't lose that ball bearing when you pull the thing out from there. Okay, so now what we've got to do is get that out from here. So you can either use a line bearing puller, like a raw bolt or anything. I haven't got that with me at the moment, so I'm just going to have to use a screwdriver down there and try and punch this old one out. And look, the gasket's the old one's shot, so I'll take that off and we'll put the new one on. There we are, that one's gone. So clean all that up, and then we'll try and drive this one out. So let me drive that out and I'll be back. All right, we've got that out. That's how it is once it's out, like that. But it was a horrible job. We had to completely crush one because you can't really get behind it unless you've got a blind bearing puller or something of that size. So we just had to poke it through from that side and then work it back from that side. Yeah, so basically stick it on a socket like that and it can punch through, and then you can put a, I used one of these, went down from that side like that, punched it out, and then once it's broken, then I used one of those to just sort of push it through, and it came out. Okay, so now this is the seal that goes back, which is a lot smaller, and that's going to go in there, but this is a proper seal, whereas that was just leather punched in a casing. So then this is going to go in there like that. We'll push that in, and then we can start reassembling the shaft and everything. Okay, so I've pushed that new seal in. I used that to push it in. I've gone a little bit below that surface because there might have been wear on that shaft where the old seal was. So just try and give it a better thing, and it does. Look, it fits in there now. I don't have to really push that in, so that seal is going to be a lot better than that leather one. So now what we can do is start putting this back together in here. Put the spring in there. Put that in there. Right, that spring goes right the way down, so we just need to just push that spring there, so that's in there. Then the ball bearing has to go in, and then I won't go in that way, Dad. Yeah. Right, look, the technique is going to be you put that ball bearing in there, and the ball bearing will go down that hole, and then you're going to have to use a punch or something to push that ball bearing down into the hole, so that when you push this in, when you push this this end in, look, it'll ride over there and it'll get to there. Otherwise, it'll just push the ball bearing straight out. So it's a two-man job. Someone needs to push the ball bearing down while you push the pin in. Okay, so let me do that. Okay, so basically we've got that all back together again. The best way to do that, it's a real bugger to get that ball bearing in. So what we've done was actually had that on a vise like that, so that you've actually got pressure on that pin, and then you basically use that down there to push the ball bearing down past the hole down into the groove, and at the same time you then can put pressure on there, which will push that over the top of the ball bearing and go. So it's a bit of a tricky job. It's a bit of a two-man job, but that's in there. Make sure you get your pin in there and with your wire around, and make sure you get it the right way around, so the pin with the thing goes closest to that end. Okay, because you can obviously put that on the other way around, but if you do that, then it won't fit into the slots with the ball bearing. So that's it. So the bearings, the seals in there like that, looking quite good. So what we're going to do now is put the new gasket on there. So if that's the right gasket, which it isn't, it's not the right gasket, so I need to get another gasket for that, and then we'll put that back. Okay, we made a gasket out of just a bit of cardboard, and then just tapping around it there with a ball hammer on the edges. Look, it's made stuff a nice gasket, so we can put that up now. So let's go and put that back on the tractor. Right, that went up there okay. Just make sure that you've got your selector in the right place. So now we're going to connect up here, connect this up, and then I just need someone to test it, that we can get it into and out of gear. So let me put the pin back in there, put the split pin back in, and we'll test it out. We undid it here and we put 20 litres of clean oil in there to get it up to the level there. So you've got just a little sidetrack. Obviously your engine oil here, your transmission oil here, and then in the back you've got your hydraulics and your differential. So your hydraulic level is in there, and you fill that behind the seat. This one here is your transmission, which as you can see there, look, you've got your levels there, and this is 20 litres. That is 40 litres. That with the filter is about 7. Okay, and you can use all the same oil, SAE 30, or we use 1540. Here we are, first thing the next morning, and if we look under here, we have got no drips. Oh, look at that, lovely. Put my finger there, not a single bit there and there. So we fixed it. So I hope this video has been helpful for people. If you like the channel, subscribe. Any comments, send them to me. I'll read all the comments and reply, although we're getting more and more now. Yeah, remember, you can do it.